All right, so today we're going to start looking at the material in the book. Okay, we already reviewed a lot of the basics, like how do you add, subtract, multiply, divide, combine like terms. None of that stuff is really in the book. Okay, that's all, I guess you'd call it like pre-algebra kind of stuff. So we start off right away with solving equations. Okay, some equations can be pretty complicated to solve. We're going to look at very simple ones today and tomorrow. We call them one-step equations. And the two ways we're going to look at solving equations for today are either adding a number or subtracting a number. Now, does anybody remember if you do something to an equation, how do you have to do it? Like, there's a rule. You can't, you got to what?
Do equally to each.
What do you mean equally? Yeah.
Like if let's say you subtracted 2 from one side, you have to subtract 2 from the other side.
Right, you got to do it on both sides. So the first property I'm going to show you, I just want you to read it. Okay, there's no spot to write this down. You just have to look at it. Don't write anything down. But it says exactly what Joe just said. You are allowed to add the same number to both sides of an equation. Okay, that's the first property. You are allowed to add the same number, but the key, Joe said it, both sides. You have to do it on both sides. So for example, if I added 3 on the left-hand side of that equation, what would I get? Careful, not multiply by 3, but add 3. Yeah? You thought, you know? What would you get if you add 3 to that right there?
3x.
That's times 3. 3x is 3 times x. You want to add 3. 3 plus x, or x plus 3. That's all you could do. Now what about if you add 3 on the right? 9. These two equations are what we call equivalent. They're exactly the same thing. Because look at the answer to this bottom equation. What is it? What plus 3 gives you 9? 6. And the answer to the top equation was 6. So these equations have the same answer. That makes them equivalent. So the goal when you're solving an equation is trying to get it to look like that. Usually you start with something like this. Try to make it so the letter is by itself. Okay? That's the same idea, so let's go here. Okay, so solve.
Yeah, that's the same.
To solve an equation. Yep, this you want to write down. What do you think it means to solve an equation? Answer it? Find the answer. Yeah, find the solution. So when you solve an equation, you're looking for a number. Yeah, you're always looking for a number. Some problems we don't get number for answers, but when you solve an equation, you do. Find the solution. Find the number.
And guys, an equation is always going to have a combination of what? What two things, Sophia?
The letter and the number.
Letters and numbers. What do we call the letters again? Variables. Good job.
So what did I say about when you solve an equation? You want to get the variable, what's the goal?
By itself.
By itself. Yep, get it alone on one side. Does it, and for this one, I don't think you have to write that down. But when you're getting the equation, when you're getting the variable by itself, does it matter if you get the variable by itself on the left or on the right? Does it matter which way you do it? No. It doesn't matter if you, I like to do it like this most of the time. I like to get the variable on the left, but if you get the variable on the right, that's okay too. If that's how you've done it in the past, it doesn't matter. Okay, so again, we're just looking at that. What else we got? So we're not going to do this all year, but to start out with, and for some of the problems on this week's test, we are going to have you check your answer. How many people have had to do that in the past? They solve an equation, and then they have to plug it in and check their answer. Okay, looks like a few people. Okay.
And Ms. David, we'll specify, right, if we want them to check it on the test?
Yes.
Yeah. Even on the homework, guys, we'll specify, we're not gonna make you check every one. It might be a handful,
Yeah.
maybe not even that many, just a couple. And the directions will say it.
Yep. So does anybody know, those that have done it in the past, how do you check a solution to see if it's true? Yeah, Xander?
Like say if you're doing a multiplication, you want to do the opposite, so you check the division, see if it's right.
So I like the idea of doing the opposite. We're gonna mention that phrase a lot, like today, do the opposite operation. But to check your answer, there's something you have to do before you even do operations. Gemini?
Isn't it like when you get your answer, you like plug it in with a variable?
Exactly. That's the key phrase I was looking for. You take your solution and you plug it back in. That's the key. You take your
Guys,
solution.
remember what we called that last week? You have to plug something in. It was one word we called that. We gave you A equals 2, B equals -5. Gemini? Close. Starts with an E. Anybody remember? Evaluate. Some of the stuff, I mean, we're not gonna say, let's think back on the vocab we talked about last week, but that's what you're doing there, you're evaluating. But if you know what as plug it in, that's fine too, as long as you know what you have to do.
So let's say you had something like this, and you got this as the answer, okay, which is correct. The way you would check it, take 7, fill it in for x, and watch what happens. You get 3 plus 7 on the left, you get 10 on the right. I'm going to put a question mark there. Is 3 plus 7, what is 3 plus 7? 10. So you get 10 equals 10. That's what happens when you check an answer and it's right. You get something that is true. 10 equals 10. That's true. Now, let's say you got, let's just change 7 to, let's say you accidentally got 5. Okay, so you got 5 for x. When I plug it back in, what am I going to fill in for x this time? 5. Plug it in, got my question mark. What's 3 plus 5? 8. Is that true? No. So in this case, if you get something with a different number on the left and on the right, then something's wrong. Either when you checked it, you simplified wrong, or the number you plugged in is wrong. Okay? So this is the goal when you check it. True statement. Same number on the left and on the right.
Guys, remember, we're gonna tell you when you have to check them. We're not gonna make you check every single one.
All right, so we're going to look at this type of equation, okay, and this problem is going to be solved using the idea that Joe mentioned earlier. You are allowed to add, or he explained it, adding a number to both sides.
Yeah, these are gonna be the actual steps on your guided notes, yes.
Yeah, so for the first example, we'll go through the steps as we do it. For the second example, we won't have the steps. Well, you will on your notes. Okay, so the first step, anytime you're solving an equation, is find the variable.
I might say find, I might say, I can say identify it, but even when we get into stuff that we're doing tomorrow, when there's a number attached to the variable, we always want to identify it, or find it where it is first.
Okay, so where's the variable in example 1, Connor? So 12, that's the number.
Mm-hmm.
So variable, what are we looking for when we look for a variable? No, what, Joe, can you just say what you said? A letter. So you want to try that one again? Where's the variable here?
The one on the right-hand side corner, see it? X minus 12 equals 9. Say, I think I heard you say it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So there's our variable. So this is what you want to get by itself.
So guys, on the right-hand side, you have that example one. You want to go through that example step by step with the written directions. So, first thing you had to do was, for your first bullet, you had to find the variable or letter on one side. So you write out your example, then circle the X. So you've done the first bullet, right? That's the first step always when we're doing these type of equations. Find the variable, which in this case was X.
Okay, now it says move the number that's on the same side of the equal sign, okay, the number that's right near the X, to the other side. And the way you move it is, and I think I heard Xander say this earlier, something about doing the opposite. Okay, you do the opposite operation. Xander in front. Xander C. Xander with an X. All right, so looking at our problem, can somebody tell me the number that's on the same side of the equal sign? Yeah, Gemini? What else is with that 12? The negative. That's the key. Because we have to do the opposite operation. So we have a negative 12 near the X. How would I move negative 12 to the right-hand side? Yep, Sophia?
You would add it to 9.
I would add it to 9. Where else?
To X. Or you would subtract it from... Go ahead, Joe.
Well, if we add it on the right, we have to add it on the left. You've got to do the same thing on both sides. So where do I put, I got to do a plus 12 somewhere on the other side. Mallory?
You add it to the negative 12.
You add it to the negative 12. Negative 12 plus 12.
It's 0.
0. That's gone. What's the only thing on the left-hand side now? X. So actually, add or subtract, we already started doing that. Can anybody finish adding that for me? What's 9 plus 12? Madison? 21. 21. This one we are going to, we're going to check. Check. That's a colon. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So, can somebody remind me, how do we check it? What do I have to do? Mallory?
Put the 21 for the X.
Okay, put the 21 in for the X. Okay. I'd like to put a question mark there because I don't know if it's true yet. And now what do I do? Yep, Sophia?
You subtract 21 from 12, which is 9, so it's correct.
Subtract 12 from 21, right?
Yeah.
So let's see what it comes out to. Okay, if you need a calculator, you can double check just to make sure we got it right. We get 9 on the left. I get 9 on the right. Does that mean my answer checked?
Yes.
Yes. It's always better that you check your answer and figure out if you did it wrong before Mr. Roy and I check, right?
And guys, some of the more basic ones, these are probably the easier ones that we'll do this week. Probably not going to make you check those. I mean, we'll check them as we're going over the notes. But on the homework tonight, we're not going to make you check them.
Is it on math assignment assessments?
Is what?
The homework on math assessments?
No, we do a worksheet. It'll be a worksheet every day. It'll be on the Math with Hager website.
Okay.
Like if you need, like you could copy a problem if you lost it or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where we'll put it.
Sweet.
All right, what else we got here? Nope, that's it. So those are your steps.
We're adding and subtracting with basic. There's a single variable, there's no number attached to the variable. Those are the steps we're going to follow.
Okay, so copy that one down. See if you can.
You guys, you have space on your thing, right there, example 2 on your notes. You you're gonna write that in.
Copy that down, see, take maybe 60 seconds and see if you can solve that one.
And guys, before you start with this one, what could we do to make it look a little, I guess, less confusing? What can we do to this one to make it look a little less confusing? Joe, are you raising your hand for the answer, or do you want to tell me how to make it less confusing? Tell me how to make it less confusing. Tell me, buddy. Yeah, because usually, normally when we see equations, the equal sign's at the end. So like Joe just said, Joe, how would I write that? What would it say?
Y minus 4 equals 3.
So this and this are exactly the same. All we did was took this and moved it to the end. So that's one way you could start. And you'll see some ones like this where it's written kind of like backwards. You'll see that on the test on Friday, that from the last page. What's the first step? Find the variables. In this equation, what's the variable? Y. Y is my variable. There it is. All right. Joe, what did the next bullet say? So first one was find the variable.
Move the number on the same side of the equal sign to the other side.
All right, so on the same side of the equal sign with the variable, with the variables, what's the number on the same side of the equal sign? -4, right? And it says we have to move that, right?
Yeah.
Does it say how to move that in that step? I forget.
Using the opposite operation.
So it says use the opposite operations. You said it was -4, okay?
So you would change it to a positive 4.
Change this to a
and
plus
add it
4.
to each side.
And add it to the other side with the 3, okay? Thank you, Joe. What about that Y? Is that just kind of hanging out? What do I do with that? Sophia?
You're gonna put it.
Yeah.
You're gonna put it next.
Just bring it down, right? Some people forget to do this. You have to bring that down. We didn't do anything to it, but we have to make sure we bring it down. Joe, what's going on?
So then now you would do equal sign and then 3 plus.
Well, what about this?
Oh, that's 0.
It's going to cancel out, right?
Yes.
That's why we added 4 so we could get rid of it, right? But that's the whole purpose behind doing this, because we want to get the variable by itself. So I'm just going to eliminate that. I'll put my equal sign. On the other side is going to be what, Joe?
So you would to add 3 plus 4.
3 plus 4, which is 7. All right, here's my 7. Now my directions also say to do what? Page?
Check it
Check it too. How do I check it?
to put the 7 in place of the Y.
Put the 7 in place of what? Is it okay if I keep it this way? I like this way better. I don't like when it's backwards. I like to change it around. Okay, so can you tell me tell me what to write for my equation?
3, well,
So
I
what-
did 3.
You want to do that way?
That's how I did it.
Wow,
That's how I was taught
that's
to do
fine.
it.
I don't care. All right, so tell me what to write.
3 equals 7 minus 4.
3 equals 7 minus 4. Or, what's another way it could be written? Joe?
7 minus 4 equals 30.
I know some people are sitting there, that's my form, so I'm getting used to this in the smart board. Some people are like, oh my God, it's not written there like that. I got it wrong. No, you didn't. Right? You can do it either way. You can do it this way or this way. Right? So all I'm going to do is just bring my 3 down here. Equals. I got 7. So he's going to fix my 4. Thank you, Mr. Hager. All right? So 3, and then Noah, 7 minus 4. Mr. Roy, put me on the spot, man. Yep, 3. Does that check out?
Yeah.
Sure. Over here, 7 minus 4, Noah just told us, it took him a second, but he told us. 3 equals 3, check. It checks both ways. All right, so if you wrote it where you reversed it and put the 3 at the end, that's fine. If you didn't, if you just solved it like Paige did, that's fine too. I don't care how you do it. If you solve it this way and don't move the equal sign in a test, we're not going to mark you wrong. All right? There's more than one way. There's more than one way to do it. All right. Let's look at the next one. Oh, sorry. Is it on there, Mr. There it is. So another solve and check. Again, what's wrong with this one?
It's different. It's switched up.
It's switched up, right? We could solve it like this if we want to. All right. Or we could reverse it. I'm just going to write it on the board. X minus 5. Whoa. Switch to red. Equals 12. All right? Either way you write it is correct. If you leave it like this and solve, that's fine too. If you read it like this and solve, write it like that and solve it, that's fine too. All right? Take 30 seconds. Try to solve it. If you already solved it, sit tight for a second. X equals 17. Did anybody get anything different? Everyone got 17? I didn't look at you, Nolan.
No, the three of them.
Oh, no, the peanut gallery is looking at you. All right, so I agree. X equals 17 is the answer. All right. Oh, that keeps changing on me. Let's do it. We'll solve it this way first. Mallory, what was the first thing you did?
I added 5 to both 5 and 12.
Added 5 to both 5 and 12. Why wouldn't you minus 12 and minus 12 over here?
Because it's kind of negative and
Okay, but what's the reason why we chose this number to cancel out? Right? It's with the variable, right? It's on the same side with the variable. I always want to get the variable by itself. Today, in February, in June, when we take the final, we always want to try to get the variable by itself. So these are going to cancel out. Here's my equal sign. On this side, on the right-hand side, what am I going to have? Xander with a Z. What am I going to have on the right-hand side, right here? X, right? All I'm doing is just bringing it down, right? Fred, on the other side, right? I brought the X down. What on the other side? Which is going to be 17, right? 2 and 5 is 7, and it's brought down to 1. Here's my 17. All right, so we got X equals 17. Now, all right, yeah, Mr. Hager's like the technology guy. He's a master with this stuff. Connor, what else do I have to do? So I solved, but what else? Look at the directions. Stay here, give it to him. All right, so we got to check. So, Connor, how do I do that? All right, so I'm going to write this equation the exact same way. Okay, so tell me what to write.
17.
No, what am I going to start with?
12.
12. Yep.
17.
Excellent.
Or -5.
Minus, so, yep, -5. Good. So, when I do that, right, Connor, 17 minus 5?
1.
What?
Or 11.
No, what do you want it to match up to?
12.
12, right? 12 equals 12, right? 17, if you checked on your calculator. It's clear on it, no, that is. 17 minus 5, 12. Connor's good. All right, 17 minus 5 is 12, so it checks out. And remember, guys, like I said, we're not going to have to check every single one. Like these ones that are basic, like you're like, of course, 12 equals 12. It makes sense. But the more like advanced one, the more stuff we get into, we might make you check. That was the last one, right, guys? For that, is that the last example on your sheet?
No.
Is example 4 too? Right.
I think that's good for that as well.
Oh, that's a good mistake. We had a little bit of both, right? All right. Because I think we have one more. Yeah, that's probably 4 and 5 is probably subtraction. That's probably why. I understand. So everything we've done so far has had what type of a sign? We've had an equal sign, but what else? Huh? No. In our actual example, right? We've had an equal sign, but what math property have we had? Not the math property that we're using to solve, but the math property that's in the actual equation. Minus, right? Every single one we've done so far has had subtraction in it. All right? They've all had minus. So if we go to the next. Now, we call the last one the addition property because that's what we had to use to solve the equation. Now, so we did everything we had before had subtraction. What's everything going to have now? Everything, yeah, all our equations are going to have addition, which means we have to use what to solve? Subtraction, right? So what we did before was the property of addition, because we used addition to solve. We used subtraction to solve. Now we're going to use addition. Or subtraction, I'm sorry. So let's look at it. So it says we can subtract this number from the same number from both sides of an equation, and we get an equivalent equation. So we're going to have a look at this. You don't have to write this on your notes or anything. Again, we're still going to follow the same exact steps. We're just using a different property. So, like you can say, you put x equals 8, subtract 2 from both sides. All right. So we put x minus 2 equals 6. If we added 8 and added 2 and added 2, we'd still get 8. All right. So when you have subtraction in the problem, you use addition. When you have addition in the problem, you use subtraction. The opposite, right? You don't have to worry about writing this down. All right. So now instead of we had subtraction for all the ones we did before this, for examples 1, 2, and 3. This one we're going to have addition. All right. So Joe, what do you want to do first?
You would subtract 6 from both sides.
Subtract 6 from both sides. Why 6, Joe?
Because that's the variable.
Excuse me?
That's the one with the variable.
Yeah, it's on the same side as the variable, right? So that's what we always want to do. This will cancel out. What happens to the, Ginny, what happens to the x? Yeah, just bring it down, right? Nothing else happens, just bring it down. On the other side, Gemini, 4, right? X equals 4. What am I going to do now? Somebody tell me what raise their hand. Sophia?
You're going to add 4 into the x.
All right, so tell me the equation. What is it going to be?
So 4 plus x.
4 plus what?
Sorry, 6.
6. I know what you meant.
Equals 10.
Yep.
And then 10 equals 10.
10 equals 10. Check. So on example 4, on your guided notes, you want to have this written. Right? Have your example and also have obviously the solution as well. Because don't crumple these notes up and throw them away. Great. Most of you guys probably know how to do this stuff. It's probably a review from stuff you've done in the past. But as we get into the stuff we're going to do in January, February, right, you're going to want to have those notes to refer to when you do your homework. All right, so that's example 4. Let's look at example 5. Oh, let's try a word problem. Whoa, Mr. Hager. What's up, John? Huh? You want to read it? You want to do it? Yeah, once I read it out loud. All right, so let's try a word problem. We call that. Oh, guys, is this a review of how things are worded, right? For more than a number, right? We're representing the number as n, and we're just putting, remember, more than means plus. So for more than a number is n plus 4. We always want to try and put the variable first. And again, you don't have to write this on your notes. It's just review. 16 less than a number. All right? Some people may think this. 16 minus n. No. All right? You always want to put the variable first. As soon as it says less than, that tells you want to reverse the order. All right? Strager's putting a sad face. All right? So 16 minus n, you don't want to put that. Always put especially when it's less than, always put the variable first. Because this is making the n, if I look at it, it's fine. 16 minus n, it's making the n negative. All right? You don't want to do that. That's why you want to put the variable first. So some people get caught up, some people get screwed up on this. Make sure when it's less than, put the variable first. All right? Let's see what else we got here. I think that's it, right? Oh, hold on. A number, same thing with decrease by. When it's decreased by, same thing. Put the variable first. Decrease by means minus, and then 16. All right? It's easy here when it's more than and stuff like that. When you get into less than or decrease by, you always want to put the variable first. All right? Let's look at our word problem. So example 5. The price of a shirt was X dollars. The price increased $7 and is now $32. write and solve an equation to find the original price. So someone tell me, what's the first thing you probably want to put in your equation? Gemini? X, right? It's telling us, right? Represent the shirt price with X. All right, so we did that, check. What's another word or phrase in that problem that tells us what we might want to use? Paige?
Increase.
Increased, okay.
So you want to put addition.
Addition, right? Increase means addition. We did that. Connor, what do you think the next thing is we want to put? 7, right? So it's getting increased by 7, so plus 7. All right. What's the next thing in there, Joe?
The equal sign.
How do you know to put equal?
Because it said is now.
Is, right? That's the big thing when it says is, right? Is, was, will be, all mean equal. Right? Is, was, will be, all mean equal. Equal, and then the last thing, Sophia?
32.
32, right? Is 32. All right, cool. Oh, Mistake's gonna do it. Oh, he's got it ready. All right, so cool. We set it up. Now we're gonna. It doesn't say check though. We just have to solve it. X. What are we gonna do first? -7, right? Why -7? Yeah. And also, it's on the same side as the variable, right? I know it sounds, I'm saying it over and over again, but once we get into stuff and we have like variables attached, and we got to combine like terms, people forget this, right? It's isolated here. It's easy to see. When we get into the other stuff, when we add a few things to it with, numbers attached to the variables and a couple different operations, people get screwed up. This cancels. X equals, someone tell me 32 minus 7, Joe? 25. Right? It doesn't say to check it, right? How could I check it though? What would it look like to check it? Paige?
You would put 25 in place of X
25, yeah. Then what?
plus 7
Yeah.
equals 32.
And then I know that we just said it. 32 equals 32. It checks out. And Mr. Hager just put a little, he added the symbol in there for money because we are dealing with money. Cha-ching. So that's a basic, we're probably going to ask you guys a basic word problem on the test on Friday. Something like this. It's not going to be super crazy. We'll make it a simple one. All right? Let's see. All right, so a couple things, guys, I want to remind you of. And there's a couple questions after this, a couple practice questions we're going to have you guys do, so don't put those notes away. You're going to need them still. Still have plenty of time left in class. All right, so tonight, all right, make sure you get your paperwork signed if you haven't already. All right, the stuff for Google Classroom, Mr. Hager's going to add that too. But the stuff like to be video recorded in class, audio recorded in class, classroom rules, all that stuff. I think most of you guys did a pretty good job with that last week. But if you haven't turned it in, all right, make sure you get it to Mr. Hager or I. Google Classroom, if you think you forgot the code or lost the code, we'll make sure we get that for you guys. Then our first test is going to be this Friday. So that means on Thursday, right, near the end of class, we're going to give you guys time. Hopefully by then you've all signed up for Google Classroom. Reason being is your study guide for the test on Friday is got to be on Mr. Hager and my Google Classroom. So you need to make sure you log on. You need to make sure you sign up for that, so then you'll get access to the study guide. Yes, Joe?
Wait,
Never mind, you all
I
set?
knew the answer.
You sure? Okay. So make sure first test, like I said, the study guide for the test on Friday, you're going to get off Google Classroom in class on Thursday. We'll give you time to print it out, and you'll be able to use that on the test on Friday. You'll be able to use it. Anything you write on there, you'll be able to use on the test. All right? Questions on any of this stuff?